Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your brother in Al-Islam and your brother in humanity, Al-Hajj Charles Shabazz of Shabazz Islamic Ministries. So, this is based on a video I was watching a few days ago. And this is a subject that I've also wanted to share with everybody. Just like anything else, I'm sure there be those of you who are watching and listening to this may have differences of opinion, and that's fine. I respect that. But this is in regards to as to whether or not it is wajib or compulsory, mandatory, or required or obligatory for Muslims to follow a madhab or school of thought. Before I go into that, I do want you guys to know, and it's very important, that madhabs, whether it's the madhab of Imam Malik, the madhab of Imam Hanbal, the madhab or of Imam Abu Hanifa or Imam Shafi, these madhabs, these imams came after, I have to emphasize that, after the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, because we know as Muslims, it is the sunnah of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam who we follow. Okay, and it is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did in his time who we follow. Now, what did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say? Did he say anything about madhabs? Did he mention anywhere in the Sahih hadiths? We're talking about strong hadiths, authentic hadiths, accurate hadiths, not the lil hadiths or weak hadiths. We're talking about Sahih, or especially the collection of hadiths in Sahih Muslim, Sahih Bukhari, etc. Did he mention anywhere where he said there will be madhabs after me and we are obligated to follow a madhab? I have not found a hadith like that, but I certainly challenge those who say that it is obligatory to follow a madhab. I do challenge you to find me one hadith, Sahih, sound hadith, where he said that. Because those who say that is obligatory, the only hadith they can come up with is where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that we're to follow those that know. Okay, this hadith, yes, it's a sound hadith. This is an authentic hadith, but this justification from them, this is very general. Okay, because there is no sound argument where following the madhab is obligatory. First of all, madhab or schools of thought are nothing more than tafsirs or exegesis or commentaries of what is understood from the two main texts in our faith, which is from Al-Quran and from the seerah, the history, or the sound hadith of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And but the thing is, we're obligated to follow those who, first of all, have great piety, who have strong righteous character, and also have great knowledge of this deen. Okay, this is very important. But nowhere does it say you have to follow a madhab. There was no such thing. So, like for example, Muslims who subscribe to one madhab, they should actually look at or be open to read as much information as possible by different scholars with these criteria that I mentioned. For instance, there's a book that's known to record the first book on Islamic law, written by Imam Malik ibn Anas, who where the Maliki Madhab was based on. Every Muslim should get this book and research on this. And there's another Imam by the name of Imam al-Ghazali, which I'm sure many Muslims are familiar with him. He's like an all-star of among Muslim scholars. You know, like a kind of like a rock and roll star, like a celebrity among scholars, who was a Farsi speaker. And he was known for writing so many profound scholarly books on Islam. And he was a follower of Imam Shafi, right? Um, Universally, Muslims will study under him. So, really, it does not matter who, what madhab they belong to or what they believe in. If they have sound character, sound knowledge, right? Yes, you go and you study under these Muslims, right? But you don't have to choose, oh, you have to choose follow Imam Malik. If you believe in Imam Malik, you should follow him and you should only follow his madhab. This man came after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So nothing is really obligatory. Um, the other thing that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said is he stated that the best generation of Muslims are those who are with him. The second generation are the Tabi'in, who are the students of the Sahabas, and the Akbar Tabi'in, who are the students of the Sahabas, right? But so these Muslims all so if these scholars are among the Tabi'in and Abba Tabi'in as well as among the Sahabas, yes, these are scholars who you should study and and follow their knowledge and wisdom, right? But by no means do you have to take their word for everything. And here's what's very important among these scholars whose madhab is based on, different madhabs are based on. One thing they will state, some of them like Abu Hanifa, for instance, he even would state that it was known that if his tafsir or exegesis or his interpretation contradicted that of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he even said he would even change his stance. He would change his tafsir to conform to that of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also, him and some others, they also did not like for their students to record the things that they say because of the possibility that their exegesis may be incorrect. That's something important to understand. But still, like I said, these men are outstanding scholars. They are known for their great wisdom, their great knowledge, their ilm, and great character. But there are many other scholars beyond these men who you could study a great deal under, right? So the most important thing is get as much knowledge and wisdom from these legitimate scholars as possible, regardless of what madhab they follow. It is not obligatory for you to choose a madhab. It's only obligatory for you to seek knowledge from scholars with sound mind and sound understanding. Now, I will say this. Now, some African American Muslims, now they may go full traditional, right? Because, of course, historically, many of our ancestors who were kidnapped and brought here, many of among them were Muslim, and they were from the western part of Africa, right? From what is today Mali, Nigeria, Ghana, Guinea, Burkina Faso, etc. And of course, the predominant madhab is that of Imam Malik, whose tafsir is based on Imam Malik ibn al-Nas, the one who I just mentioned, who was known to have written the first book on Sharia, on Islamic law. Some will go full traditional and say, since our ancestors follow Imam Malik ibn al-Nas, then we should follow Imam Malik to continue that tradition. Even though I understand where they're coming from, I perfectly do, but I differ on that per se. Because here's another thing that you have to consider as well when you're talking about these men, right, whose madhabs are based on. You also have to understand, too, that the reason why they may have different madhabs, different exegesis on Islam, is also because many of these imams, they did not get into a huddle like you do on a football team and say, you go to this place, you teach it this way, you go here and you teach it a certain way. No, it wasn't like that. Their tafsir was actually based on, one, the places where they were teaching, and also the point in time they were teaching, okay? So certain needs and wants of people at that particular society, it was very different from, let's say, the needs and wants of the people in Medina, or it was different from the needs and wants of people who happen to be in Yemen or Turkey or somewhere else. So of course, the basics, the Aqidah of Islam did not change, but it's the exegesis, it's the implementation that may be different, but not the basics, not the Aqidah. The Aqidah is the same, is universal across the board, right? And you also study in the history of how Islam spread in different parts of the globe, how the Islam spread by applying the needs and wants of the people. Okay? But as far as the basics, you still share the basics of Islam. What Islam is about, who Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is, and whose sunnah we follow, and what is meant by following his sunnah, his example, and his motto. But when you do an application, it's different, right? Um, so the exegesis, the interpretation, the application is different everywhere, but the basics are the same. Um, and going back to you know you know some of the African American Muslims uh, saying we should follow Imam Malik ibn Anas. I am not knocking at all that we should study the works of Imam Malik ibn Anas and also his life, right? Because he had an awesome life, just like all the other imams I just mentioned. Um, but remember, his application, his tafsir, his exegesis, the way you apply Islam, it may be it's actually much different than from what it is today. We live in a country, in a society where the situations of various challenges are very different from the challenges that are in those other societies. And mind you, this is the 21st century as well. Okay? So the application, still, the teaching of Islam is not to be added or subtracted. It's still going to be the same. The basics would be the same. But when you, in terms of application, applying to the needs of the society here, it's going to be different from what all those other imams have applied. We have to take that in consideration. Now, but at the same time, we should study these scholars because there may be some things that they teach, that they taught during their times, that may be beneficial in terms of applying what we have today in the 21st century here in America. But regardless, Quran and Sunnah is universal. And regardless of whose teaching you're following or tafsir, the Quran and Sunnah itself is transparent, and it would apply and it will work anywhere on the planet, regardless of what society is in. That's all I have to say. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Assalamu alaikum. Peace to everyone else.